What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Tyler's Lilith 2-Dot deck that he played for the Retro Round 1 Campus Championship. What is Retro? Jasco has decided that they want to play an online Retro event, so all the way from the original Red Horizon up to current printed sets with a couple of banned cards, which we'll leave a list down in the description down below. You get to play a bunch of really cool, awesome, rad combos. And so Tyler wanted to play a Lilith 2-Dot deck, and most importantly, he was stacking Lilith 1-Dot. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the profile. Right, so Lilith 2-Dot. Lilith is a really, really cool deck. One of the most slept-on control decks in the game, and she can turn around and just kill you on a whim. If you haven't seen one of my deck profiles, basically what I'm going to be doing is, as opposed to telling you how the deck, as opposed to telling you what the cards say, I'm going to be telling you more about how the deck wants to work. So Lilith 2-Dot is a deck that the more attacks, more cards that I have in my card pool, my attacks get +1, my attacks just get bigger. And then I can respond, commit, and commit a foundation and turn off one of your attacks. It seals the entire attack. It means it can't gain abilities. But if it was my attack, I'm going to draw an additional card, as well as it makes the next check that I play easier, either for blocking or for playing more cards. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the other cool part, and I mentioned in the intro that we're playing Lilith 1-Dot. The fact that these characters share a name means that I can have my really cool character now have 4 different abilities as opposed to just 2. And what Lilith 1-Dot says is all of my attacks get so fast you can't block them, and if I do happen to hit you with an attack that does 3 or less damage, I can just add it back up to my hand. And so with 1-Dot and 2-Dot, Lilith 2-Dot normally is giving way too many stats in order for Lilith 1-Dot to pick back up. What it says is you're not allowed to half block something, because if you half block something, I'm going to hit you with something again. So it's either full block or nothing. And so and because of Lilith 1-Dot existing, the full block is significantly more difficult to do because of how the game is progressing. So, as we go on to our attacks, the first attack that we're going to talk about is 3 Absinthe Arrow. This card is mainly just in here in order to gauge off into my Lilith. Its first dance is fine. Its combo dance is okay. It misses more than it hits, but it is a 3 low for 3. The low part is important. Low blocks are really hard to come by in some decks, and it just grabs me a second character card. Up next, we've got the main kill card of the deck. We've got 4 Swallow Your Soul. It is a throw that with Lilith 2-Dot gets absolutely massive, with Lilith 1-Dot gets unbelievably fast, and with itself gets even bigger. And so it's easily, as like the 3rd or 4th card that we play, this could be like a 9 damage throw that they just can't do anything about because of how quick it is, as well as a little momentum generation for our next attack, which is Surprise Soul Flash. Surprise Soul Flash, while it's in the card pool, all my other 3 damage attacks get +1 damage. It has a bit of a defensive ability or a disruptive ability on the when a block is played, and it has powerful 2. A totally fine card to seal with Lilith because the static on Surprise Soul Flash happens and gives itself the extra damage before it gets sealed off of Lilith. The next major attack that we're playing, aggro-wise, is 4 Shining Blades. This card has stun too. It doesn't have a block, but it says the opposite of Lilith 1-Dot. Lilith 1-Dot gives speed for a named foundation. For each copy of a named foundation, Shining Blade gives damage for a named foundation. And so, as Lilith 2-Dot, playing this as your 2nd or 3rd attack, it's going to get an extra 2 or 3 damage off of Lilith and an extra 2 or 3 damage off of itself. It's things coming in at a very, very meaty attack, as well as stun, as well as it getting extra speed off of Lilith, possibly extra speed off of Lilith 2, or Lilith 1-Dot, excuse me. This card is just, you're not going to block this card. It's almost impossible. And then the last card, we're playing a bit of a flow disruption card. We're playing 4 Betrayer Betrayal. It says if my character is sealed or committed, probably committed because of the seal ability on her, I'm going to draw 2 cards. It says that my next attack is going to get even bigger, and it is a reversal with stun 1. There are ways for me to increase my stun rating. If I choose not to increase the stats off of Lilith 2 and I have Lilith 1, I can block, play my reversal, hit them with it, and then when they play the next attack, I will use Lilith once per turn and then pick it back up, and then I can block and play it again after I've possibly I couldn't pick it up and draw my 2 cards. Anywho, I do get my next one gets +2/+2, not to mention the extra speed on an already base 5 speed attack. Cards nutty if you can start to combo it off. So onto the assets. It combos really well with Betrayal, and every other card attack in the deck. We've got 4 Krita Yuga. Just twice per turn, my stun ratings get bigger, so either Betrayal or Shining Blades get stun 3 or stun 4 respectively. Or twice per turn, I can ready a foundation and give any of my attacks an additional 3 damage, which means that they're doing twice. I've essentially, it says double my attacks damage, not to mention Lilith. And with Lilith 2 dot and 1 dot speed, it just means that everything's hitting like a truck. This card is fantastic. A very big problem card on my opponent's board if they're playing as this deck. On the defense, we're playing 1 roll. Roll just says response, remove, discard a momentum, which I'm sure that we're going to get because we're going to touch you at least once. Before you do lethal, I'm going to reduce it down to 1. So you have to just throw that one little extra attack in order to make sure that I die. It can be a bit of a gamble. There could be some burn effects. There are ways to cancel this, but it is kind of just sitting here as a bit of a safety net, a parachute, in order to make sure that we get at least one more attack that we get to do. On to the actions. We're playing 3 Tricked Ya. Fantastic on the reversal play. Really good in order to give any of my attacks stun 3, possibly stun 5 with Krita Yuga, and 3 additional damage. It just basically it's another 3 damage attack in our hand that checks a 5, if you want to think about it that way. Remove a card for an additional attack. The remove ability is not amazing, just because we never want to be down that low, and readying up these cards is fine, but at the same time, readying up Lilith, because it says cards in my card pool, or just double checking. Yeah, it says ready up to 5 cards in my staging area, as opposed to 5 foundations. So I can use Lilith and then with Tricked Ya, ready it back up, and then seal another thing if necessary. Onto the foundations. The most aggressive foundation that I have is Fusion Refusal. This and Swallow Your Soul are like made for each other. We add this card into our card pool, get extra damage off of itself, extra damage off of Lilith, extra damage off of Swallow Your Soul. And so this card by itself is only 2 damage printed on the card, but it actually turns into more like 4 or 5 damage depending on how we play out the turn. Onto a bit of aggro / flow. We've got Double God of Thunder, commit for +2 damage, as well as destroy ready a foundation. With Lilith committing herself and then a foundation, it's totally fine to destroy another foundation to ready this foundation back up. And committing foundations is really easy to do as we're playing out these big, long attack strings that we want to play. And so turning our committed foundations and trading a 1-for-1, destroyed or committed, to ready one back up is totally fine if I'm just going to kill them. In the same idea, a flow card that we have is for Dreaming of Becoming Whole. Because we are playing Lilith 2 dot, we do want to stack up on as many 4 of copies of named cards as possible. Because if I have all 4 Dreaming of Becoming Whole in my staging area, all of my attacks for free get +5 speed. And so this card is a playable while committed, ready it back up, just like God of Thunder, as well as giving my checks an additional +1. I can play out even longer, bigger, crazier strings. We're playing a 1 of to return home. It's kind of like it is +1 to my check for each named copy of a card in my staging area. So if I have all 4 of these Dreaming of Becoming Whole in my staging area, I can just commit this for +4 of my check, which is, you know, unbelievably strong. Like this card's fantastic. I think it's perfect at a 3/5 too high unique. Up next, we're playing 1 of Sun's Love. Just turning Lilith 2 dot into a 7-hander just seems fantastic. As well as sometimes destroying it while committed to loose safe so that I can respond with Betrayal. Might just be worth it. On to more draw power, more flow, more consistency. We're playing 4 designed for combat. Flip, discard a card, draw a card. Just find I'll turn this foundation into hopefully not a foundation, or this useless foundation into a better foundation. And to pair perfectly with it, we're playing 4 Balance Fighter. Once this card is discarded, I draw an additional card. But the more important part defensively is response commit. Before the block step, return a speed back to printed. One of the best cards that we got back in Retro. Everybody should be attempting to play this card at least a 3 of. On to a little more defense. We're playing 3 of Phidiophobia. This card just says flip if I block it. If anybody blocks the stack, it deals no damage. So it does work on your attacks as well, so be careful. But yeah, just like auto-blocking a really good attack and then hitting them with the reversal just seems pretty gnarly. Up next, we're playing Double Fulfilled in Battle. This card's a fantastic Lilith 1 dot card, and the way that it works is after I grabbed everything but an attack, I will block with a Surprise Soul Flash, respond, get +2 to my check, so blocking is incredibly easy, and then at the end of the turn, Surprise Soul Flash, instead of going to my discard pile, gets added back to my hand. So I'm allowed to hold attacks, block with them, and then I didn't lose that aggressive feeling. I just get to pick them back up. And so playing Fulfilled in Battle just lets you not feel bad for holding off one more turn and sculpting a little better. Up next, we've got double his gift of immortal blood. If they have momentum, which is a very tantalizing thing to have, momentum's a very strong resource to have. I can discard a momentum and give this attack a -5 speed, as well as I can take any trouble card that they have in their discard pile and put it into the momentum, so that hopefully they can't use it. Are they playing Punch and Judy and they only have one Judy, 3 punches? Well, I'll just toss the Judy into their momentum. Now their chain is broken. Something along those lines. You got to play a little clever with this card. Up next, we're playing 4 Future Poolside Date. This card's fantastic in Lilith. It's either discard a card while it's in your staging area for -2 speed, or you just, while it's on top of your discard pile, you gain 2 vitality back. Just keeping that 26 as high as we can make it. Onto the disruption, we're playing double Wearlight. This just turns off an attack. It's kind of like a little baby Lilith. Baby Lilith is played, or Lilith is played at the response speed to seal an attack. Wearlight just says you get 1 enhance, and now you don't get to play any enhances as long as you have something that's committed. So I can target a committed card that has an enhance on it and say you have to play the ability on that committed card. Oh, you don't meet the cost of it being playable while committed. Well, then you have to pass. I'll pass. We'll go straight to blocks. Up next, a little more disruption. We're playing 4 Manifestation. This card pairs so well with Lilith 2 Dot because she has a commit a foundation cost as part of her character. When I commit and I seal, they have to commit an additional resource. So not only if I sealed their card, I get +3 to my check. Well, now they have to commit another foundation, and it doesn't count for things. It does not count as a stunned card. So stun specific things can't cancel it. And the last card that we're playing, the last disruption card, is 3 Ageless and Wise. There are plenty of things inside of the retro format that destroy foundations, and our foundations are really cool. We want to have as many numbered foundations as possible, so our speed gets absolutely massive, as well as maybe we have to commit foundations in order to pass our 5+ with Lilith. Ageless and Wise means that my staging area gets to stay exactly where it is. This card is a staple inside of the retro format. You have to be playing it because of things like Blazing Storm and Self-Destruct. All right, so Lilith 2 Dot. It's a little more standard than it is retro, but it just shows you the power of like just spicing in a couple of old cards can make a good deck even better. If you like this deck, make sure you check out all the matches that Lilith 2 Dot got to play in, as well as any of the other profiles or matches that we have here on the channel for the Retro Rumble. If you want to catch the Campus Championships lives, please go out to twitch.tv/TCGUniversity, follow the channel out there, and get notifications for whenever we go live and we play any card game, not just UniVersus. And then lastly, if you have a really cool idea for your Lilith 2 Dot retro tech, please support us out on Patreon at patreon.com/TCGUniversity. Get access to our Discord where we can talk to the student body as well as the faculty about the rad Lilith 2 Dot ideas you have. So from all of us here at TCG University, thank you very much for watching and stay alert.